Hey everyone, Prepper Nurse 1 here. January 2nd, 2015. Want to talk to you guys a little bit today about something that irks me. I see it on TV all the time and it annoys me, and it has to do with our educational system. Um, we have, and I've seen three different ones, okay? We have the United Negro College Fund where you can donate to help poor black kids go to school. You have the um, Spanish or Mexican or whatever they want to call it, college fund to help Hispanic kids go to college. I've even seen the Native American scholarship fund. The one that I never do see, is the poor white kids scholarship fund. You don't ever see that one. So, but I guess that must be racist if we had a scholarship fund for poor white kids. Um, the thing that bothers me about the whole thing is this. I believe, and this is my opinion only, of course, that regardless of what color a kid is, what race I should say, because we're actually over here, we're all Americans in the United States anyway. I believe that all the kids, regardless of race, should have the opportunity to go to college if they have the grades. So the poor white kid that is a straight A student does extremely well in school, but because his family can't afford for him to go to college, he doesn't get to go. I think that's ludicrous. I think it all should be based on merit. It should be based on their grades. I think education should be free in this country, but it's a big business like anything else over here. You know, if you have the grades, you should be able to go to college. You know, if you, I mean, not all kids are geared towards college. Don't get me wrong, okay? But if you have the grades and you're, a smart kid, you should have that opportunity to go to school, and you should be able to go to school for free. Because what a lot of people don't understand is, if you educate these kids, now they become productive members of society. Excuse me, and they're going to contribute to society by paying taxes and helping out the educational system, and stuff like that. Now, the way I would do it is, if you got to go to college for free, regardless of your background, for the rest of your life, 2% of your pay every year would go back into the scholarship fund to help finance kids going to school for free. Man, I tell you what, you're giving these kids an opportunity so that they don't come out of school, you know, $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 in debt, and with the stipulation that 2% of their pay for the rest of their life goes back in to help fund other kids going to school, and it would just feed itself. I mean, it would be a huge, huge thing, and it would make it well worthwhile, in my opinion, of course. But I just think it's ridiculous that you have all these different scholarship funds, for everybody except for poor white kids. I've never seen one once for poor white kids, and it's a shame. I mean, like I said, I do believe that all these kids need to go to college, and saying that we're all part of the human race, not we're white, we're black, we're red, we're yellow, we're this, we're that. We're part of the human race. So it's one of the things that really bothers me about this country being, again, the United States, is that everything is based on race. We're all Americans over here, guys. We need to be working together. When you put a uniform on and you're out in combat and you're fighting whoever the enemy is, whoever. Let me rephrase it. Whoever the government determines the enemy is, you know, you don't care if that dude is black. You don't care if that dude is Asian. You don't care if that dude is Hispanic. If he's wearing, the green BDUs or the desert camos or whatever, he's on your side. He's got your back. You got each other's back. That's all you got in combat. So, you know, we need to get more towards that. I know that when I was in, and I went in '84, and I was down in Bragg in '85 and '86. The down there. Now this is, it's not that long ago, realistically. This is what amazed me. We had guys that, everybody worked together during the day, and at the end of the day, The whites went this way, the blacks went that way, and if you were Asian, Hispanic, or whatever, you picked a side, and that's who you stayed with. Well, I had a friend of mine, and I'll never forget him. The kid's name was Dennis Roll, and he was from Florida. He's a black kid. And me and him used to hang out all the time, go to the movies, whatever. Because I base everything on, if you're a decent human being, I want to hang out with you. If you're not a decent human being, I want nothing to do with you. So one day Dennis comes to me and he says, he goes, Ed, we can't hang out anymore. And I went, what are you talking about? He said the brothers, meaning the other black guys, had come to him and basically told him he needed to choose. He needed to choose between me and them because I was white and they were black. And he said to me, he goes, if I choose you, he goes, then you're all I got. He goes, I got nobody else. And I looked at him and I said, you know what, Dennis? I go, I understand. Because I truly did. I understood. It's sad that it had to be that way, but that's the way it was. And we're not talking about in the 1950s. We're talking about in the mid to late 80s. So, I don't know what it is now in the service, but that's how it was back then. And that was messed up because he was a cool dude. Me and him got along great, and but I understood it and I got it. It's ridiculous that it had to come down to that point. But anyway. I'm getting off on a different tangent here. You know what? We're all human beings. We're all Americans. We all need to work together. A lot of people prep. The majority of people that prep are white people. There are some black people that prep. There are some Hispanics, and there are Asians that also prep. The Amish, they all prep. But we're all working towards the same common goal, and that's survival. So, the educational system is an absolute train wreck because they get these kids and they come out of school and they're so far in debt, and it's just an unfair thing altogether. So I think that, in my opinion, again, I think all education for the kids should be free if they have the grades, and and that includes going right down to a trade school, for plumbers, carpenters, electricians. We need those too. And again, for funding that, same thing. 2% of your lifetime pay goes back in to help fund other people getting educated in those fields. Because if we can teach people a skill, it makes them. Let me explain a little bit so you understand. I went back to school at 29 and got my nursing degree, and I felt like I actually accomplished something, that I did something in my life at that point, because I had the means then to make decent money. And that's what it's all about. It's that self-worth that we would have for ourselves by having an education. And I think that if the kids have the grades, they should be able to get it. Same thing with trade schools. I mean, it should be free, and then they have to pay for the rest of their life back into the system to help educate the next level of kids coming up. That's just my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know what you think, okay? Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.